What's going on, everybody? Oh man, do I got a treat for you guys? Yes. Welcome to the Big League Find podcast. I get super excited talking to people that are in the hobby, but I also got to tell you, when you can talk to an ex Major League Baseball pitcher, come on, man. It doesn't get any better than that. I was a pitcher in college. I know how difficult it was just the grind that it was in the NC2A, man. To think that I'm about to pull this guy in and talk about his Major League Baseball career and just get some information that we all want to hear, man. Because you're always like, oh, what's the day to day? What's it like? What's all that? His career started in 95 to 1999. He played with the Astros, the Athletics, and the Pirates. Let's bring Jimmy in.
Good afternoon.
Jim Dougherty. Yes, sir, baby. How you doing, pal?
I'm doing fine. How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing awesome because I'm talking to a person who I met during COVID. So just to give a little backdrop to the listeners, to the viewers, is I met Jim during COVID. My youngest daughter, Brooke, who handles my socials on Insta and TikTok, she was doing rehab in for her knee, and Jim's wife, Amy, owns her own PT practice down in the Outer Banks, and we were down there during COVID. And I'll give you my perspective. Jim comes walking in. I drove Brooke to PT that day, and I'm just sitting there. First, I noticed there was a few things hanging on the wall, and then we started talking about like baseball, and you go, "Yeah, I used to play in the major leagues," and I go, "What?" And I was so stoked. I was like, "Oh my!" First, I was starstruck because I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm talking to a Major League Baseball player," and what have you. And then we just started, sharing stories. And I got to tell you, Jim is probably one of the more humble people that I've ever met. That's played on a level that very few have ever even could ever even imagine, rather than taste. So, Jim, welcome, man.
I appreciate you having me.
No doubt, no doubt. So, quick question: do you follow the Big League Find? Do you follow what we're doing on this stuff?
Well, I do as much as I can. I don't know if you remember during that time that we were talking in the office, you had told me about this card collection, and and then I kind of 3 4 years later, I think I was on Instagram or TikTok, and I was scrolling, and all of a sudden there you were with all these cards, and it was unbelievable. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
amazing.
yeah, about 4 years since the purchase. Enough about the collection. We are going to dive into a little bit of your card, some of your cards. I want to dive in. Here's a big question, and this is a big question for me.
Okay.
When did you actually realize that baseball could be more than just a game? When did that hit you?
So I'll give you the short version of what happened to me. I got drafted my senior year out of Carolina, and I actually came to the Outer Banks with my wife Amy, like you said, and I didn't sign with the Astros because I didn't think I could make it. I was just like, I'm kind of a late pick, 23rd, 24th round. I'm going to just get a job and move on with my life. Well, around here, there ain't much to do if you don't have certain, if you're not in the restaurant business or a
Yeah.
professional field, there's not really much. So I was helping a guy frame houses. And I looked at Amy one day and I said, I got to see about maybe trying to play again. So I contacted the gentleman that the scout that had drafted me by the name of Carl Green. And I said, how does this work? Do you still own my rights? And he said, we own your rights until the next draft. I said, well, I think I made a mistake not signing. If it's still possible, I'd like to try to play. And he said, I'm going to meet you at Chapel Hill because that's where I went. I played at UNC. That's where he had seen me. And I met him there and I was supposed to throw for him and all this stuff, but he just wanted to see if I was still in shape. So he said, report to spring training. You're going to report to minor league spring training and we'll just see what happens from there. So signed for nothing because I had forfeited basically any leverage, for lack of a better word,
Sure.
and went to A ball my first year in Asheville and I had some good success. So I made the promise at that point. Amy and I were fairly newly married, and I said, I'm gonna play until I plateau, unless that's at the big league or the triple league level, because finally then you could kind of support yourself with the money, even if you
Sure.
were on triple A.
Sure.
So I was fortunate to move up each year, and then I did the shuttle bus back and forth a little bit, but great time.
When did you become a submariner? Like, when did you
So after my junior year in college, I didn't get drafted. I threw kind of hard, and for the time, not like they do now, bigger, stronger, faster for sure. And I had some good success, but I didn't get drafted. So I talked to my pitching coach and I had told him, I said, this is something I've always messed around with. What do you think? And we did some sessions on the side, and he was like, we have to try this, we have to try this, because I had a lot of movement on my pitches and had three pitches. And I ended up starting. I was a starter my senior year, and not in the bullpen, which typically you get with a sidearm submarine guy.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna say, holy
I
cow.
think I threw about 116 innings, and I think I went 12-1 with like a 1.6 ERA, and that the rest is history, as they say, right? I opened some eyes with the Astros and got drafted and got a chance.
That's awesome. So you literally were I don't even know if I've ever even heard of that, like a submariner being a starter.
Well, that was in college.
You're like an anomaly. It doesn't matter. Like even in college, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there is somebody else, but I don't remember seeing anybody.
Like
Yeah.
you're special, kid, on many different levels.
Oh, I've been called special before.
I freaking love it. So I'll ask this. So you played in the Cape Cod League for a little while, didn't
Oh,
you?
that was great. Yeah, I played 2 seasons in the Cape Cod League. Great baseball.
Was that before you signed, or was that
Yes,
okay,
that was the summer of my junior and senior year in college.
in college? The Cape Cod League is big, right? I mean, it's a big league, right?
It's huge, and not to name drop, but when I was there, it was Bagwell, Mo Vaughn, Frank Thomas. I mean, some of the best of the best.
So you go to the Cape Cod League. That was like, yeah, I could only imagine. Go back to college, you get drafted. Can I ask you, like, when you were in the minors, how hard was that?
Uh, so from a baseball standpoint, or from a just a living standpoint?
Give me both perspectives.
Okay, so I was fortunate. I played some major Division I college baseball, so I would say when I got to Double A, that was kind of like college, high college level talent. Okay,
Okay.
not to say that there wasn't talent in the lower levels, but it would be like one player or two players on a team. The guy that throws 98 but doesn't know where it's going yet,
Sure.
type of deal. Um, the big adjustment is when I signed, not to date myself, but it was $850 a month in A ball.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Yeah. So all of a sudden you're living with four guys because you got to pay rent,
Yep.
and
Oh, yeah.
and that's different because you have four guys that really don't know each other. You come together in spring training, you meet each other, and then you got to hope that it works as roommates, and it doesn't always.
Did you room with anybody that made it to the bigs with you?
So my one of my better friends, everybody gets teammates, but one of my better friends by the name of Ray Montgomery, we basically came up the Houston organization together.
Okay.
And Ray actually took over the managerial job of the Angels this past season when Ron Washington got sick. I don't know if
Sure.
you
Yes.
so Ray stayed in the game after his career, which was similar to mine, not a lot of time, but he got into scouting and then he got into coaching and then he got the opportunity to manage. And I hope he gets another chance.
And this was a relationship, like, you guys still stay really connected, yeah?
Yeah, actually, Amy and his wife, they meet up every year, every summer they take a trip, so it's pretty cool. We don't get
That's
to go, Ray and I don't get to go, but they go.
oh,
They call it
there
the wives trip. There's 4 of
well,
them.
so you go through the minors, and all of a sudden you get to AAA.
Uh-huh.
And do they tell you? that you're on the fast track? Like, do they say to you, "Listen, Jim, you have an opportunity here."
They don't directly come out and say that. You kind of sense what's going on. You see, you see what's written as who's a prospect, who's a suspect kind of deal. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But one of the most interesting things for me was my first year in big league camp was after my double A season. I had had a really good season, double A. So I was getting a little bit of work with the big league club intermittently. I still wasn't going to make the team out of spring training that year or anything like that. But Scott Service, who was the catcher at the
I
time,
remember Scott Service. Yep.
yeah, he was the catcher for the Astros, and he pulled me aside one day. He said, "Hey, I don't know how you're approaching this, but you have a chance. You have a chance to help us. So I want you to take this serious." And that really stuck with me because it wasn't coming from like a coach or somebody that is going to try to pump you up anyway. Here's a
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
that handled the staff for the last few years, and he's telling me, "Hey, I see something in you that you might be able to help us." So once you hear that from somebody that's been there, you're like, man, maybe I really got a shot to do something.
Did you feel like was that a turning point for you right there?
You always think you're good enough, right? Everybody thinks they're
Of
good enough.
course.
And then when you hear it from somebody that's been there, it gives you that little extra, like, well, not that you work any harder because you always think you're working as hard as you can,
Sure.
but you definitely focus a little more, I would say. So turning point, I don't know if it's that, but it just extra motivation, maybe.
Did you ever consider, like, before you went to college, were you always a pitcher, or was there were did you have did you play, you had to be been a position player in high school because that's how it worked, you know?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. We actually had a rotation at first, third, and pitcher. We had our three starting pitchers would rotate around. After you pitch, you would play first, and then you would play third the next day, and that pitcher would go to the mound. And my high school team had 11 kids play Division I baseball, so
Oh my
we were
gosh.
yeah we were really strong.
Did you guys win the states?
We lost the states. We went
How do
20.
you lose the states
Oh
on a
God,
college team? You
we
were a
were
college team.
we were 25-0 going into the 2 out of 3 finals. We won the first game, then we dropped the next 2 games.
That must have been a heartbreaker.
Oh, it was so bad. It
Does
was
that
so
sit with
bad.
you ever?
Oh, sure it does, because the way the world is today, you can see your friends online just like it's real time. It is real time, and you
Sure.
reminisce and all that stuff. If we didn't have all this social media, we'd probably get over things a lot easier.
Well, that's I always say that's the same thing. Yeah, it's social media is it's great to stay connected and it's
Yep.
horrible for to
Yes.
sit in that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So, you got called up right out of the gate, right? Like
I broke with the team, and so the unfortunate thing for me was in 1994, I was in AAA, was having a really solid season, and the strike hit. So
oh my god,
there
yeah.
were no September call-ups that year, but my AAA manager pulled me, 2 other players aside and said, "Listen, we need you guys to keep working. Our season is over. If the big leagues resume, you're probably gonna get called up." But unfortunately, the strike lasted too long, and it went all the way into 95.
Yeah,
So,
it went into the first couple weeks, right? Of April, right?
yeah, it did, and so when the season started, they allowed us, not us, the team, to carry a couple extra players. So I initially made the team out of spring training, and then when that cut down day was coming, I was really nervous because obviously I'm like the 25th guy, but
Yeah.
I had done enough to stay, and they sent somebody else out. So and that's when I felt like, all right, you made it to the big leagues. You're not an extra because the roster's expanded. Now the team is cut down, and you're here and you're playing.
How did
Now
that feel? I gotta ask, come on,
it,
man,
it
because when I
it's really
think
hard to describe because I mean, obviously, it feels great. You work for something your whole life. You hope it happens, right? It doesn't happen for many people that have the same dreams, and all of a sudden, here you are one day, and you're living what you know the story. Yeah, bases loaded in the ninth inning. You're a kid in the
yes.
driveway, right?
Yep. Oh my god, absolutely.
and,
No
uh,
doubt
and
about it.
all of a sudden, you're going to the park, and people are watching. It's pretty cool.
I'm looking at Major League Baseball as a fan, like even though I played in college, like I think about the guys that I played in college. So I played against like Michael Tucker, Sean Casey.
Yeah,
Those are
yeah,
guys that obviously I think you
yep,
pitched against. I think
yep,
you pitched against Sean and
yep.
and Tuck. So I played against those guys in college, and the level of talent that they were, and I do gotta share this because this is Sean Casey in a game that we played against U of R. He hit a home run off of me over Brian Jordan's head. Brian Jordan was running in the outfield at the time, and if you remember, Brian Jordan played football and
And
baseball.
yeah, yeah.
He played both, so he was running in the outfield, and Sean Casey hit a home run off me, and I say that's a claim to fame for me, man.
There you go.
I'm like, hey, I gave up a dinger to Sean Casey, and that was a great thing for me. Now it sucked
Now that
then. It sucked then,
now you
but we
can
all
burn his
knew.
baseball card.
We all knew how good he was as a player, and your first win, your first W.
Did you Google what it was? Do you know
No,
what it
I
was?
believe it or not, I wanted you to tell it. I did not
Uh,
want I wanted the story to come straight out of your mouth. So
so
I would go
this is
ahead.
pretty funny. So well, funny, whatever. I come in, we're losing to the Cubs in Wrigley Field, and there was either one or two guys on and two outs, and they brought me in to face Sosa, and I
Oh,
throw
oh, nice.
yeah, yeah. I throw fastball in, sinker in, whatever. He pops it up. Innings over. One pitch, innings over. The next inning comes and we start to rally. Well, my spot comes up in the order and they pinch hit for me. The guy gets a hit. We take the lead. I win the game.
That's awesome.
One pitch, pitcher of record, right?
That's how it works.
And then like if you're a baseball guy like me, so after the game, they're talking to Harry Carey. He goes, one pitch. He throws one pitch and he gets the win. Only like Harry Carey can do,
Oh,
right?
sure, sure.
So it was pretty funny.
That's how baseball works though, isn't it?
Exactly, exactly.
It's such a unique game. It's the same thing where and I always say this, Jim, and the reason why I love baseball, it is the only sport that you can literally be down to the last strike. It's 99.9999999999999% that you're gonna lose. And you still have that sliver. Like football, if you're down by 30 points with 2 minutes to go, you're not gonna win the game.
Yeah, time's
Basketball,
gonna
if you're
run out.
down by 30, you can't win.
Time's running out.
And it is the only sport where literally something can happen that's so miraculous. It makes the game that much more enticing. It's like when people don't want to leave till the final out because so many things have happened,
Yeah.
in the history of the game. You
The
know,
Red
I,
Sox Mets, right? The Bill
I was
Buckner.
just about
I
to
mean,
oh
I,
my
I
god.
hated for him,
Yeah.
but yeah, the game's over basically, right?
Do you watch a lot of games now?
I do. I'm a Yankee fan. I had two older brothers and a father. I grew up on Long Island, and they were Yankee fans, so I grew up being a Yankee fan. And to this day, I try to watch them every day. Honestly, I watch a lot.
Who's your favorite player of all time?
I grew up a huge Mattingly fan.
That's yes, that's you're gonna a lot of people that like the fond there that we have a lot of Mattingly fans. I don't know. It's yeah, they love collecting. They love the hobby, and I'm gonna. This may create some drama, but the fact that he didn't get inducted into the Hall of Fame this year just still blows my mind.
Yeah,
I
I,
don't
I thought I
know.
thought he would get in this year. I really did.
So you must have pitched against Jeff Kent, yes?
I did. Yeah.
So Jeff just got the nod. It's okay for you to say this. Like, would you say Jeff Kent is better than Don Mattingly?
Me personally, no, but I know that comes with bias. But Jeff Kent's a great player.
Oh,
You know,
Jeff Kent is a phenomenal player.
I
I
mean,
don't. Yeah,
I got no
agreed.
problem with him being in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? His numbers are great. He's a great player, but I don't know what it is about Mattingly. I guess maybe the length of his before he hurt his back. Maybe that's what keeps him out. I mean,
13 years,
really,
right?
I'm
He
sorry.
he he played 13 years, right?
I think that's right. So I don't know what the hangup is. They didn't win. I mean, you can't really pin that on a player because his team doesn't win the world championship, right? I mean, 25 guys.
Yep. The hard part is if he hung on one more year, he gets his ring, right? All he
Yeah.
had to do was hang on that one more year and he gets his ring. And he probably could have hung on one more year. It would have been painful.
Hmm.
I think it would have been painful. But if somebody said to him, "Hey, listen, you're gonna win a World Series in 1996.
Yeah.
You wanna hang tight?" I think he would I mean, I think anybody would have been like, "Yeah, hell,
Yeah.
man, I'm
Absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely.
completely, locked in." So I wanna get back one more thing. I wanna talk a little bit more about so AAA said, as you grow in the minors, things get a little bit better. I remember watching the Syracuse Chiefs when I was a kid, and you know, I went into that locker room, and that locker room, mind you, that was probably 80, 84, 85, 86. A couple of my buddies were bat boys, so I got to go in the locker room every once in a while, and the difference in atmosphere and did you eat at the park?
So you do, and nowadays, from what I understand, it's really over the top. The way that the food is at the parks, and you know, before the game, after the game. But in AAA, most clubbies are going to have some type of sandwich type spread before the game. You get
Sure.
hungry, you can do that, and then after the game, there's always some type of hot meal. You know, and then you tip out the clubbies when you leave on the road. You tip the home clubby. When you leave the road, you tip the road clubby. But yeah, you're eating at the park. I mean, you don't have to eat at the park, but the option is there.
Well, it's obviously, tipping a clubby $10 in or $5. I don't know what you guys were tipping back then. I mean, I have no idea, but $5 was a lot of money, right? I mean, it's a ton of money, to you back then and when at that level, right?
Sure, yeah, I can't remember exactly, but I wanna say we got, like, $15 a day on the road to eat, you know?
And you saved all that money,
You try to save it, unless
you
you
know.
lose playing cards.
I meant $15, like, you tried to save all that money just so you could eat at the park. So it was like you wake up, most of
Yeah,
the time you're in an apartment or what you said, you're in an apartment, you're sharing an apartment,
right.
and then you're on the road, you're in a bus. Because all minor leagues that, they you guys didn't fly, right?
Not until AAA. Once you get to
Okay,
AAA, so when I played, I was in the Pacific Coast League, so you'll have a team in Edmonton, and then you have a team in New Orleans, so you're flying. You're commercial flying, you're not chartered. Big leagues
sure,
is all
sure.
charter,
Yeah,
every
yeah,
team
yeah.
has their
Yep,
own,
yep.
but, in AAA, you're flying.
So, all of a sudden, you make the bigs, and you're sitting there, and you're in the clubhouse, and you're like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
Like, I made
You
it. Like,
you
I
you
made
you
it.
can be starstruck.
Did you ever feel like, "Oh my god, I'm like, I can't believe that this is my life." Like, I can't believe I'm playing Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it's at the time when you're doing it, yes, you do realize that, "Oh my god, I'm living my dream," but it's kind of what you do, It's like, I play baseball. This is what I do, and these are the guys that I'm on the same level, maybe not like, my locker is between Bagwell and Swindell. So like Bagwell's this MVP all-star,
Sure,
but
sure.
we're on the same team, and we both worked really hard to get there. So now we're just on the same team trying to beat the other team. And this is what we do. If you walk around the clubhouse and you're like, oh my God, you're not going to be there very long.
Sure,
The,
sure, sure.
the guy
Did
guy behind you is really close behind you.
So now I'm gonna get into some technicalities. You ready? Because now here's the pitcher in me coming out. Jimmy, this is how did you hold guys on? Being a submariner.
Yeah, I actually the defensive part of the game was my strength. I had a pretty good move to first. I had quick feet. I did a lot of jump rope and ladder drills to try to work on that stuff, because and I was quick to home. So that was a big thing for me. I was got rid of the ball quick. So they didn't have huge jumps. Like I was like a 1-2, 1-3 to home. I wasn't 1-5, 1-6 to home. So,
Sure. That's awesome.
you know.
And if I remember correctly, also, stolen bases were really declining at that point. Like everything started going down because you had Reigns and Henderson and Coleman and Eric Davis, all those guys in the 80s.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, the
And then all of a
90s come,
sudden, everybody swole up.
everybody, including
Everybody swole up.
inc-
That was the hardest thing for my career was I played at the height of the steroid era, and I didn't do steroids, okay?
yep,
And
sure.
I'm not I don't begrudge anybody
Jim,
what they did or whatever.
you don't have to get into details, my
Yeah,
friend. We can all have
doesn't
our own opinion.
they
Yep.
did their thing, I did my thing, you know? Did it shorten my career? Maybe, but I don't care, you know?
But that's the crazy thing, what you just said is everybody beefed up. I don't know if you remember, do you remember when Brady Anderson hit like 49 homers, like out of
Yeah,
nowhere?
yeah,
And
out of
I
nowhere.
don't know, whatever, but it was like, it was just so weird. All of a sudden he hit
Yeah.
49 homers. And I don't know, like nobody's ever pinpointed it that's what caused that. But it was like all these different things started happening. And I don't mean to just go ahead.
Sammy Sosa hits over 63 home excuse me, he hit over 60 home runs 3 different times and never once led the league in home runs.
That's nuts to me, right?
Yeah, that's nuts, right?
Like, but
When
that's the whole thing, and then all these other names started coming out, and it was just it was so sad because I loved watching these guys play. It was such a joy. Like baseball was such a joy for me to watch, and then it just got tainted for a little while.
well,
And
no, sorry to interrupt. My
no, you're
opinion
good.
was it is you know, the owners always say, "Oh, we didn't know, we didn't know." I don't buy that for a bit. We were just coming off the strike, and they needed to get fans in the stands. And you remember the Braves commercials, right? Chicks dig the long ball,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh my God, I
And
totally remember that
and
commercial with Glavin and Maddox. Yep.
and Maddox, right? Chicks dig the long ball, and all of a sudden, here you go. You got the home run race, and they're going to break the record. And all of a sudden, here come all the fans back to the game. I mean, who doesn't like to see a ball go 500 feet, right? I mean, pretty impressive.
So I got to share this with you.
Yeah.
I was not impressed with the long balls. As you know, my favorite player is Tim Raines.
Uh huh.
So I literally latched on to, and I know this is crazy. I loved Lou Brock
Yep.
when I was probably, I mean, I don't even know. I think he was playing in his last year or two. I loved Lou Brock. Like oh my gosh, I just loved speed. And then Ricky Henderson came on, and um, then Tim Raines came on, and I got to see Timmy all the time, and I latched on to speedsters, and I remember loving, Eric Davis, and I was not a long ball guy. I wasn't.
Well, I mean, I don't really like the game today as much as like there's no bunting, there's no hit and run. You know, the strategy part is gone to me.
Yep. Yep.
I hope it comes back.
Yeah, the manufacturing, like the run manufacturing is gone. I totally agree with you. It's they tried to bring back stolen bases, which they have. I
Yep,
mean,
a little
guys are
bit.
stealing, you know, 70 bases again,
Yep,
and how did they do that? They did it based on the fact that okay, a pitcher can only throw over, I think, twice, and on the third time, if they don't get him,
he advances.
he advances.
Yeah,
Could you imagine?
no, no.
I was just about to say, like, who were you afraid of when they got on first base? Was there anybody specific that you remember that scared the crap out of you?
It didn't happen for me, but the fastest person I've ever seen on a baseball field was Deion Sanders. You ever hear of that guy?
Yeah, I did.
He could fly. It was I remember we were playing the Reds and he hit a ball down into the corner and I'm like, not off of me. I was in the bullpen. I'm like, oh, that's a double. And I look up and he's standing on third. It was
Holy,
just different speed. You know, at that level, everybody's a good athlete, right? Everybody's in great shape. Everybody's a good
sure,
athlete.
sure.
And then there's this other guy who's like in even another league, you know, just speed wise, just incredible.
Isn't it crazy that he came up? His baseball career was at the same exact time when stolen bases weren't really
Right.
that important. And how many stolen bases could he have had in the
Right.
in the 80s? I mean,
Yep.
if when you had teams like the Cardinals or even the Expos, both of
Yeah.
those teams loved to run. They
Yeah.
they love to run, which is cool.
Well,
So
was that the
Jimmy, I want to
Rondell
trade.
White? Run
Oh
That
my
Way,
god, yeah.
Cliff
Yes.
Floyd, right? Those guys.
Yeah, Cliff Floyd, Tim Raines,
Yep,
Andre Dawson,
yep,
even in the early '80s, Ron LaFleur,
yep.
Rodney Scott, those kind of guys. Those kind of guys. So I wanna finish up
Sure,
with this because I really do want to talk a little bit about collecting.
sure.
What do you is there a specific card that you love
Well,
of yours? I'll
of
start
mine,
with you
well,
first.
my best card probably is I have the Schmidt rookie, Mike Schmidt.
Okay.
So when I was really into collecting, it was like early '70s. Is when I started. I was fortunate enough to have my dad like take me to some card shows after he
Nice.
saw, which was really like I never saw it as an investment at the time, right? When you're a kid, you don't realize that. It was
Absolutely not.
all about, I want to go pull a Don Mattingly. I want to go pull my Yankee team and complete a set, right?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden
Yes.
you go to some stores or shows and you see these cards that are worth at the time thousands. Now some are worth millions, as you know,
Yep.
and it's unbelievable.
So you would say your Schmidt rookie is probably your favorite card or your best card?
No, I think my Mattingly cards are my favorite cards, but the Schmidt is probably my most valuable.
Did your dad collect?
He didn't collect. He was just a my dad loved baseball, okay? He was always my coach too, and he would make little players out of the baseball cards. He would cut them out and put them in the positions, and he would show the kids at practice how guys are supposed to back up and by using the baseball cards and stuff like that, but he didn't collect. He was just a fan.
So you picked up so I was gonna say, there's no way that you bought that Schmitty, rookie because you would have been 5 years old. I think you would have been 5 at
Right.
the time. So you probably picked that up through a trade or something from a buddy or something. Yeah?
Yeah, probably flipping cards or, I don't know if you flipped cards as a kid,
I
you know?
didn't. I didn't. I wasn't a flipper. I wasn't a
Okay,
flipper,
okay.
but I know
Yeah,
all about it. I know
yeah,
all.
I was gonna say, I don't remember where it came from, I just know that I have it.
Do you have a lot of like? Is your collection pretty extensive?
It's not like yours.
Well, not at all. Which leads me to tell you, you have to come up here.
Oh, I would love to, I would love to check
You're
it out, it's
3 hours
unbelievable.
away. Being a fan, like that's it, man. You got to see this. You got to come up and see it and touch and feel some of these cards
The history of the game.
that
I
it
mean, it's
is the
crazy.
history. It really is. And I always tell people, you really don't believe it until you actually step into this space and you
Yeah,
look around and you go
the
like,
enormity.
yeah, it's the history. It's exactly what you just said. It's cards from, you know, the 1800s through, all the way through 2016. And we're talking Lou Gehrig's, we're talking Babe Ruth's, we're talking Ty Cobb's, we're
Yeah,
talking, Honus Wagner's, not the Honus Wagner, not the Honus Wagner card, but
dang it.
trust me, I would, but we're still finding stuff, which is really, really neat to share that with someone, who you experienced it in your faces on these cards. To me, like that, to have you come in this space would just be amazing for me. And as I'm sitting here, I'm like, this is you, kid. That's you.
It's funny, yeah, yeah.
Like, that's you.
I never pulled one.
That's you.
Yep,
It's freaking amazing. Like, and it blows my mind. It's like I think I had a card made of myself maybe back in like 80 whatever. I was young,
right.
when they did when you got you got your photo taken and
Yeah,
it came out like a baseball card and you're like, "Oh my god, I got this. I got that."
yeah,
So
that's cool.
I got to ask you and here's a question just because I loved collecting game memorabilia. Did you accumulate anything? Did you take anything away from
I was more of a ball guy just because that was easiest when you were traveling around, you would get a ball signed from the guys you wanted, basically,
Sure, sure.
you know?
Who do you have?
So, I got a couple Koufax, a couple Nolan Ryan,
Oh, nice.
Ricky Henderson, A Rod, Barry Bonds.
Oh, you
to
did
me
get a Barry
when
Bonds.
yeah, well, I took some coercion from Doug Drabeck because Drabeck played with him, and me and my buddy had asked Barry to sign a ball, and he wouldn't do it. And Doug had asked about it because he knew we wanted to get an autograph, and he's like, "He wouldn't sign for you guys." And I said, no big deal." And he's like, "I'm going to go make him sign the ball." So he didn't sign it on the sweet spot because, from what he said, he had a deal with I think QVC maybe that he would only sign their products.
Sure, sure, sure.
But I got it.
Which is pretty cool. Do you remember giving up any?
Yeah, Bobby Bonilla.
Oh shit.
Bobby Bonilla home run. Is that what you're going to say?
No, I was gonna
Oh,
ask you, like, is that it, like, is there any home run that sticks out in your head that you served?
oh yeah, I served one up to Bobby Bonilla in the Astrodome, and I tried to throw a backdoor slider, and when I let it go, I was like, "Oh, please just bounce or something," because it was right down the middle. And when he hit it, I was like, "Please don't go in the fourth deck," because it was assassinated. I mean, it was crushed, and I kind of peaked, and it didn't land in the top deck; it landed in the next one. So,
Oh, so did you when he's running around the bases, were you I remember, like, my head went down,
yep,
and I didn't ever wanna watch anybody run around the bases. To me, I just didn't wanna see that. I didn't wanna remind
right,
myself
right,
that I just did that. It was like, you have to be, what do they say? You gotta be a goldfish in sports. You gotta have such a quick memory, and you gotta
short
be able to
memory,
step yeah, you gotta be
short
able to
memory.
step
Yep,
right back up and be able to do your thing or
yeah.
whatever. So, this is my last question. Do you have any regrets?
Regret and with my baseball career.
Yeah.
No, I think I tried to give the game everything I could along the way, and some of the things that maybe prevented me from having a longer career or whatever were out of my control, So as far as that goes, I don't have any regrets uh, with my playing career.
And I will add on this is people don't even understand. You had how many appearances in 1996? If I remember correctly, 59?
I was going to say right around 60. You were trying to remember. I was looking at the back of the card.
I think it was 59
Yeah, that's right.
was your appearances.
Yeah.
Jim, you pitched every 3 days, man.
Yeah. And that doesn't count the days that you warm up and don't get in the game. At one point during that season, I got up 21 days in a row.
21 days. And how many pitches do you generally throw in your bullpen?
Well, you got to be ready to get the next hitter. That's what they say. So you're throwing 10 to 15 as quick as you can to get loose. And I remember um, the bullpen coach, the guy that would answer the phone, to tell you to get up. He came down to the bullpen that day and he said, "You are off today. They told me you are off today, so don't worry about it." And the phone rang and he looked at me, and I was like, "Tell him I'm ready. I'm not even throwing. Tell him I'm ready. I'm
You're
not even
you're
throwing."
like you're like, "Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?"
Yeah, yeah.
Did you ever have arm trouble?
I was very fortunate. I did a bunch of preventative exercise, like the PT clinic that you saw where we have shoulder patients doing all their rehab. I did all those exercises every day to try to prevent that stuff, and I was always very fortunate. And plus, throwing sidearm submarine is a more natural motion, so I was fortunate in that regards too that I didn't have any problems.
Yeah, and you wanna know what? You look really smart, like, with your specs, man. Dude,
So
you look
so I started with the specs because um, at dusk when the games would start, I couldn't see my catcher signs. So I started with the specs, and then when I made it to the big leagues, the lights in the Astrodome were lower or something, and I would get a glare on my glasses, so I switched to contacts. But obviously, the that was first year pictures right there with the glasses. Oh,
there you go. Jim, you have no idea. Thank
I
you so
appreciate it.
much, man. You have no idea. Um, Open invite to the collection. Would love to have you, and we'll definitely I'll be texting you
Okay.
to try to figure it out. But dude, I really
Yeah.
do appreciate you, man. I appreciate you you answering all these goofy questions that I tossed at you. But this was a pleasure for me.
Oh, me too, man. I appreciate it.
This was a pleasure. So, Jimmy, take care of yourself, man. I appreciate you.
You do the same. Take care,
Take care,
Tim.
bud.